It is a big weekend ahead. Tomorrow's Dunkley by-election is a major test for both Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton. Lots of issues on voters' minds, plus Sydney's annual Mardi Gras will see tens of thousands participate in the parade. But one key figure will be missing from both events, and that is the Prime Minister, who has instead opted to celebrate his 61st birthday at home. Joining me to discuss is News Corp columnist Angela Molan and Sky News host Danica De Giorgio. Ladies,
Hello.
thank you so very much
Thank
for coming
you.
in. Really appreciate it. Nice to have you both. And Albanese became the first sitting Prime Minister to actually march in Mardi Gras last year. Is this strange? See, my theory is that he's a bit gun-shy after Taylor and Katy Perry last weekend, and he feels like he has to, you know, if your parents get mad if you're going out too much and you've got exams on, you then stay home to placate them.
Yeah, right, because he can't, nothing will be as sparkly. Is that what you're saying? Oh, look, I initially looked at this and thought, yeah, Dunkley's really important. This is the litmus test. We're going to find out what people actually think in that election as sort of representative of where he's at, following the Voice referendum. Why is he not going to be at Mardi Gras, particularly the week we've had and the difficulty around the police? I think he's made the right decision, actually. I think sometimes when you're in politics, he's said it's his 61st birthday on Saturday. He wants to spend it with his son and with his fiancée. That's okay in my book. Of course, as you mentioned, he was the first sitting Prime Minister. Shorten, when he was opposition leader, marched in the parade. Turnbulls was a guest at Mardi Gras. But I think, you know what, I think it's okay. And also, if Dunkley doesn't go well, it's far better to be at home.
Yeah, I'm much more of a hider than a be out there. Yeah. Danica, do you think that much will be made of this result? How much do you think weighs heavily on this result for both government and opposition?
I think a lot weighs for both because, look, it's going to be very difficult to judge. Labor should romp this in, essentially. They hold it on a margin of 6.3%. But because of Anthony Albanese's own failings over the last few months, it means we don't know how this is going to swing. It could go either way. A narrow victory or a loss for Anthony Albanese is still possibly fatal for his leadership because this is a referendum on him. It's a referendum on his leadership. As you said, it's a litmus test because people have perceived him to be Airbus Albo. They sent us to a referendum that none of us wanted to do in the middle of a cost of living crisis.
In that area voted no.
If you're looking for a real test of cost of living, go to Dunkley. The median income there is $43,000. So really, voters are going to be looking at that tomorrow and going, is he really the man of his bond? So yeah, I think that it is going to be. But also on the other end, Peter Dutton. But it will be interesting to see the result.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by it. And you can, of course, watch it on Sky News tomorrow from 6 p.m. Now, a new poll conducted by the Herald has found that a majority of voters support testing politicians for drugs and alcohol. Now, this was, of course, a big debate last week off the back of Barnaby Joyce and Perrin Davies. Look at the results of this. Now, I think it's a little bit extreme. I think it will cost a lot of money. I think it's a little bit extreme off a couple of bad behavioural incidents, but what do you think?
I think it's completely extreme. In the end, we need to have a trust that our workplaces are dry. And the majority of workplaces in Australia, let's be honest, are dry. You don't go to work with a bottle of alcohol. It's ridiculous. We don't need to waste more taxpayers' money now questioning, testing every MP that goes into federal parliament. I think it's a complete overreaction. Yes, the events of the last 2 weeks, there's been some real wrongful events, and we know this. But come on, in these years of Parliament, really is it necessary?
I think even drink driving, police don't have enough people to do that. And I know it wouldn't necessarily be police, but those numbers are way down. If we don't have enough people to man those tests, which are far more important because it's the safety of others, then this seems a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, look, what's the allure of politics if there's a bonk ban and an alcohol ban?
We're going to have to pay them more now. This is ridiculous.
But look, to your point, I think self-governance, we stop talking about it. We just want to nanny state everything. And actually, what we're trying to teach our kids, what we're trying to teach teenagers as they come out of adolescence, what we're trying to teach adults is self-governance. Okay, this has happened, Barnaby Joyce. It's not a good look. But all of us should perhaps think, OK, should I be having that drink at lunchtime? Is that the right thing to do? I'm being paid, particularly when you're taxpayer funded to do your job. But in terms of wagging the finger in nanny state, it's not going to work. It's poor waste of money.